Did the romantic just expose a truth fans were never meant to hear? Or did it spark the biggest illusion yet surrounding Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban? Before we dive in, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below, because what you're about to hear might completely change how you see their relationship. It started quietly. No dramatic announcement, no explosive interview, just music. When Bruno Mars released The Romantic, fans expected smooth vocals, emotional storytelling, and signature vibes. But what they didn't expect was a wave of speculation that would spread across social media like wildfire. Lyrics were dissected, pauses were analyzed. Even the tone of his voice became evidence in a story fans were desperate to piece together. And at the center of it all, Jessica Caban. For years, their relationship has been one of the most low-key yet fascinating in the entertainment world. No constant headlines, no oversharing, just glimpses. But that silence created space. Space for curiosity, space for theories. And now, with The Romantic, that space has been filled with questions louder than ever. Some listeners claim the album feels different, more reflective, more vulnerable. There's a sense of distance in certain lines, a hint of longing in others. And then there are those lyrics, lines that seem to hint at separation, reconciliation, or something even more complicated. Fans quickly began connecting dots, suggesting that the album could be a coded message about his relationship with Jessica. But is it really that simple? Because here's where things take a turn. Not everyone agrees with the narrative. While some fans are convinced the album reveals cracks in the relationship, others argue the opposite, that it's actually a deeper expression of love, just told in a more mature, complex way. After all, artists often draw from a mix of experiences, not just their current reality. So is this personal truth or artistic storytelling? And then came the social media activity or lack of it. Observers noticed subtle changes. Fewer public appearances together, less interaction online. Nothing dramatic, nothing confirmed, but just enough to keep the rumors alive. In the world of celebrity culture, silence often speaks louder than words. But here's the twist that has fans completely divided. Sources close to the situation, though not officially confirmed, suggest that Bruno Mars has always been extremely private about his personal life. That means what we hear in his music isn't always a direct reflection of what's happening behind the scenes. Instead, it could be a blend of imagination, past emotions, and creative exploration. So why does The Romantic feel so real? Because it taps into something universal. Love, uncertainty, growth, the kind of emotions that make listeners feel like they're hearing a confession, even when they might not be. And that's exactly what makes this situation so intriguing, because the line between reality and art has never been more blurred. Halfway through the album, there's a noticeable shift in tone. The energy changes, the pacing slows. It feels more introspective, almost like a conversation rather than a performance. And that's where the speculation intensifies. Fans believe this is where the truth begins to surface. But again, truth according to who? Because if there's one thing Bruno Mars has mastered, it's control over narrative without ever directly addressing it. He lets the music speak, but never confirms what it's saying. And Jessica Caban? She remains just as mysterious. No public statements, no reactions, just silence. And in a story driven by curiosity, that silence becomes one of the loudest elements of all. Now here comes the moment everyone's been waiting for, the payoff. Did The Romantic actually reveal the truth about their relationship? The answer isn't as clear as fans hoped. There is no confirmed breakup, no verified conflict, no official statement tying the album directly to Jessica Caban. What exists instead is a powerful piece of art that feels personal enough to spark belief, but ambiguous enough to avoid confirmation. And that's exactly why the rumors have exploded. Because people don't just want music, they want meaning. They want connection. They want to believe that what they're hearing is real. And sometimes, that desire creates a story bigger than the truth itself. So what's really happening between Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban? Right now, only they know. But what we do know is this: The Romantic has done something rare. has created a conversation. It's pulled listeners in, made them question, made them feel. And in today's fast-moving digital world, that kind of impact is powerful. So maybe the real story isn't about confirming rumors. Maybe it's about how one album managed to blur the lines between love, mystery, and perception so perfectly that the world couldn't stop talking. If you've made it this far, drop your opinion below. Do you think The Romantic is telling a real story? Or is it just brilliant storytelling? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because if anything changes in the story, you'll want to hear it first. And just when it seemed like the conversation around The Romantic was starting to settle, something unexpected happened. The discussions didn't fade, they intensified. New interpretations began surfacing, almost as if listeners were hearing a completely different album the second time around. Lines that once felt poetic now sounded like clues. Melodies that seemed smooth and effortless suddenly carried emotional weight that was impossible to ignore. The internet did what it always does: zoom in, slow down, and analyze everything. Short clips began circulating, fans isolating certain lyrics, layering them over past interviews of Bruno Mars, trying to find connections. Old photos of Jessica Caban resurfaced, paired with song snippets that seemed to match specific moments in their relationship timeline. It became less about listening and more about decoding, and that's when a new theory emerged. Some fans started to believe that The Romantic isn't about a breakup at all, but about evolution, about what happens after the honeymoon phase, when love becomes quieter, deeper, and sometimes harder to define. They pointed to certain verses that hint not at loss, but at endurance. Not at separation, but at transformation. But then another pattern interrupted. A completely different group of listeners pushed back hard. They argued that the emotional tone of the album feels too heavy to be just about growth. That there's a certain tension, a subtle ache that suggests something unresolved, something unfinished. And suddenly, the narrative split into two completely different directions. Love story or goodbye story. What makes this even more intense is the timing. The release of The Romantic didn't come with the usual promotional noise. No deep dive interviews explaining the meaning. No track-by-track breakdown. Just the music and silence. And in that silence, speculation thrives. Because when there are no answers, people create their own. There's also another layer that many are starting to notice, a pattern in Bruno Mars' artistic evolution. Over the years, his music has shifted from upbeat, feel-good anthems to more emotionally complex storytelling. And The Romantic feels like the peak of that transformation. It's not just about catchy hooks anymore. It's about narrative, atmosphere, and emotional depth. So could it be that fans are projecting a relationship story onto something that's actually a personal artistic journey? Or are those two things more connected than we think? Midway through the ongoing discussion, one particular moment from the album keeps resurfacing. A line, simple, almost understated, but delivered with a kind of vulnerability that feels almost too real. It's the kind of moment that makes listeners pause, rewind, and question everything they thought they understood. And here's where the curiosity deepens even further. Because despite all the noise, all the theories, all the viral speculation, there has been no contradiction from either side. No denial, no clarification. And in the world of celebrity news, that kind of silence often fuels the fire instead of putting it out. Some insiders suggest that this might actually be intentional, that the mystery itself is part of the experience, that by not confirming anything, Bruno Mars allows each listener to connect with the music in their own way, to see their own story in the lyrics. But that raises an even bigger question. If the ambiguity is intentional, then what does that say about the rumors? Are they completely off track? Or are they exactly what the artist expected to happen? Because let's be real, this level of engagement doesn't happen by accident. Every pause, every lyric, every shift in tone, it all feels deliberate, carefully crafted to create emotion, conversation, and yes, speculation. And Jessica Caban's role in all of this? Still undefined, still unspoken, but somehow still central to the narrative fans are building. There's also a growing belief that what we're seeing isn't just about one album or one relationship, but about how modern audiences consume art. Today, listeners don't just hear music, they investigate it. They connect it to real life, to timelines, to personal histories. They turn songs into stories, and stories into headlines. And that's exactly what's happening here. The Romantic has become more than an album. It's become a puzzle where every listener sees a different picture. As the days go by, the conversation shows no signs of slowing down. If anything, it's evolving. New listeners are joining in. New interpretations are being formed. And the line between fact and theory continues to blur. But here's the part that really stands out. Despite all the speculation, there's still a sense of respect surrounding both Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban. No scandal, no controversy, just curiosity. And that's rare. It shows that whatever the truth is, it's being handled with a level of privacy that's almost unheard of in today's spotlight-driven culture. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. Not whether the rumors are true or false, but how powerful music can be when it makes people feel like they're uncovering something real. Because at the end of the day, whether The Romantic is a reflection of Bruno Mars' relationship, his imagination, or something in between, it has already achieved something massive. It has everyone watching, everyone listening, everyone wondering. So the next time you hear one of those songs, pay attention, not just to the lyrics, but to how it makes you feel. Because sometimes the strongest truth in music isn't about facts, it's about emotion. And right now, that emotion is exactly what's keeping this story alive. Stay tuned, because if even the smallest detail changes, if even one hint drops, this entire narrative could shift again overnight. And when it does, you already know this is where the conversation continues. And just when people thought every possible angle had already been explored, the narrative took yet another unexpected turn. Because now, it wasn't just about the lyrics anymore. It was about timing, behavior, and the subtle details that most people would normally overlook. But in a story like this, nothing goes unnoticed. Fans began revisiting past moments between Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban, not just from recent months, but from years back. Old interviews, red carpet appearances, even candid clips. Everything suddenly felt relevant again. And what they noticed added even more layers to the mystery. There were moments of undeniable chemistry, glances that seemed genuine, interactions that felt natural,